about, things that you have learned in there and things that education has been put out for people and so forth.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. Well, PFLAG itself, it was parents, families, and friends of lesbians and gays. And of course, now it includes other communities, including trans, bi, intersex, asexual, all of the communities. But it was started back in the over 40 years ago. I believe it's 46 years ago now, by a lady named Jean Manafort, and her son was gay, and they were in the New York City area, and basically she went to a pride parade, one of the early walks that were there, and she took a sign that said, "I love my gay son." Sorry, and she walked.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a moment. I know. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, she walked in a parade, and it was interesting too because she'd apparently gotten phone calls from the police because at the time they were jailing people, for being gay. If this is back, when they would break into bars and things, and there was a story about her where she got called one night by the police, and they were trying to basically out her son to her, and she's like, "Yeah, I know he's gay. What's wrong with that? Do you have a problem with that, sir? Because I don't." And that's the kind of boldness as a mother that led to this. So that's how the organization was born. And the whole idea was just allowing parents to get together. And it started, like I said, back in the early 70s when our communities weren't as open. And so it gave people a place to gather and to talk to each other and to come to understand how to help and support their family members. And so from that, it's grown to multiple chapters across the country. There's chapters in other countries. In our situation, we meet in Sarasota, but it serves, just as Steve said, Sarasota and Manatee counties. We meet once a month. We are in the process of transitioning our day right now, and currently with COVID, we've been meeting remotely, but up until more recently, we've been meeting the last Tuesday of every month for an hour and a half. The format of our meetings are fairly informal, but usually what we will do is start the beginning of the meeting with either a guest speaker or a video to watch or some kind of topic discussion. So one of the meetings we had a speaker come and gave what was called Trans 101 talk, and talked about the transgender community and what we could do to learn and to help, and particularly healthcare again as well. And so that was a really good meeting. And then what happens once the speaker is finished, we have open discussion for the remainder of the meeting. And meetings can have maybe 4 people, it could have 20 people. It really depends on who is able to come and the topic that day. Because again, we serve a large community. When you think about LGBTQIA community, there's a lot of little letters in there, right? And every one of those letters is unique. And so there's different concerns and questions and issues that each community needs to deal with individually. And then there's things that we deal with for all of us. And so sometimes we try to vary our meeting topics so that what we're talking about is pertinent to the different communities, and then things that are general to all of us. So we do kind of change that around. We have parents coming and grandparents. We have allies. We have members of the community themselves attending the meetings. Some of our parents have very young children who have come out already in elementary school, middle school, high school. And then some of us, like myself, have children who are now adults themselves. So we have a wide range of ages represented, but I think that's also really good too, because some of the experiences that I've gone through as a mother that have been beneficial to our family, I can share those to a mom whose child just came out weeks ago or months ago, and talk about how we coped and how we managed, and how we, particularly reaching out to family and friends that maybe aren't open and affirming. How do you keep those people in your life as best you can, but at the same time, love your child and stand up for your child? And so those are the kind of stories we can share. We do go to community events like the different Pride events throughout the area, like Sarasota, Manatee, Harvey Milk Festival. We go to those events and we sit at our tables. And it's really interesting too, having people stop there, because people will tell you their story. And a lot of times it's about how they've had rejection in their life, but then again, found acceptance through either other people or through people coming around over time. And so it really is cathartic for a lot of people to participate in PFLAG. Because it's a national organization, there's a lot of resources that are available to you that you can get. So they have publications like How Do You Deal with Your Family if Your Family is Fundamentalist, and they have religious issues with your child coming out. What kind of things can you talk about to them? So it gives you resources like that. PFLAG National also has resources in other languages, so we can reach out to other communities, others that do not speak English or have limited English. And so it's really important to have those national resources as well. We do make ourselves present in the different Pride parades too. We participated in Tampa's Pride Parade and St. Pete Pride a couple of times in their parade. And again, you find so many people when you go to those events giving you a thumbs up when they see that you're with PFLAG, because they know what support and encouragement they've been presented to them over the years. So I would say that if you have anybody in your family or any friends or any interest in general about how to be a better ally to the community, consider coming to PFLAG now. One of the other things we're looking at now with PFLAG and with Equality Florida and a lot of the different communities is the Black Lives Matter campaign, because we know we need to be unified with them, because Pride originally started with people of color speaking out. And so that's something we need to support too.
Exactly. And that is, I just saw some excellent documentaries about how should help the LGBTQ communities and the people of color communities to work more closely together, because we are all facing a common denominator in discrimination, and it by working together, maybe it more people can understand and have more empathy for people in vice versa for the BLM, Black Lives Matter community, can have more empathy with the LGBT community, and the LGBT community can have more empathy for the Black Lives Matters communities and people of color and what they're facing. Okay, we have just a few minutes to finish up here, and I wanted to give you about 3 minutes here or so, if you could summarize your thoughts here for our listeners.
Okay. Well, again, I want to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come here today. And to just talk about, my advocacy and what I've been involved in. But I think what I'd like to do is encourage anybody just to do baby steps. Just get out there and start doing something. In my case, the first step was signing that little email notice at the Pride Parade or Pride event and going, I'd like to get some Equality Florida emails. I'd like to learn more about this. And then through that, I've gotten involved in more groups, like Also Youth a little bit, PFLAG, Free Mom Hugs movement, all of those different groups. The incredible thing with Free Mom Hugs is because of so many Pride events being canceled this season because of COVID, so many of us mothers that normally go to Pride events and hug people, we couldn't go hugging. And, for mothers that like to hug and give support and give, what's the word I want, high fives and just talk to kids and encourage them. It's hard to do that when you can't get together. So the Free Mom Hugs, and you can Google it on Facebook. It's Mama Bears, I think it's 2020. And what we did was we put a video together. We did a recording. Each of us, we had a script. The script was then spliced into a video that has every one of us. I'm a tiny little postage stamp at the end of one of the moms. But the bottom line is we are able to send love out to the community. And so sometimes it could be as simple as just sending words of encouragement, getting involved in the mother's group, getting involved in a parent's group, whatever's there. But just take that first step. Pick up a book. Read a book that you've never read before. Read about Harvey Milk. Read about some of the historic figures in our community, Marsha P. Johnson, all those people, just get out there and read and learn and grow. And go to events once we start having them again. Get active in things like Project Pride SRQ. They have a wonderful website and a good Facebook page. They had a Pride Parade in cars last weekend, downtown Sarasota, first time we've done that. because we couldn't gather together in person. So we did the social distancing. We made our presence known, and it was incredible. So just do little things that you can, and that's all we can do. If every one of us did one thing, the world would change.
Excellent, excellent. So good, and I want to thank you again so much for being here, Dorothy, today. You've provided a great deal of information for our listeners, and we're going to wrap up now. I want to again thank you, and thank you for listening, and we hope you all have enjoyed today's discussion. This has been Coastal Progressive and Rainbow Forum on Society Bites Radio, and I've been your host, Steve Ryan. Thank you again for listening.